Sometimes you need that reset. Oh.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back-to-back with Brandon. What a long home run to left for Harrison Bader. It's his 15th of the year, and his third since joining the Phillies. It's 5-1.
All right. By now, we've all seen the video of the confrontation at a Phillies game last week over a home run ball. Now we are hearing from the family at the center of it. Drew Feltwell came up with that baseball after a scrum in the crowd, and he gave it to his son, Lincoln. But a woman confronted Drew, grabbing his arm, demanding the ball. And told our Christian Benavidez that giving up the ball was worth much more than the souvenir.
It was meant to be a celebration. The Feltwell family sat in the outfield, hoping to field a home run ball for Lincoln's 10th birthday.
I was hoping to put it in his glove and maybe he'd be on the big TV. Watching the game could see it up there and, oh, I saw you, Lincoln. You know, that was the big plan.
The plan was coming true. A shot to left field, seats away from the family.
And that one is gone.
Drew Feltwell grabbed it and handed it to his grinning son. A perfect moment until a woman in their section came over.
So we brought you a cool little goodie bag.
I don't mind that she grabbed me and was standing there, but she was leaning over me as I was leaning back and just screaming in my face, like vulgar curse words in front of my kids.
What was her argument to you?
There was no argument in the beginning, just a lot of curse words, and that's my ball.
The Phillies ball snatcher story has been everywhere this week, but the latest twist may be the most surprising yet. The woman accused of snatching that home run ball from a young boy is now denying everything, insisting she's been misidentified and even joking that she roots for the Red Sox, not the Phillies. Schools tied to her name have issued statements saying she's never worked there. And yet the video at the center of it all continues to dominate sports coverage. For the boy involved, Lincoln celebrating his 10th birthday, the moment that should have been pure joy turned sour in seconds. His father, Drew Feltwell, caught the ball and handed it to him, only to watch a grown woman storm in and demand it was hers. That clip, her shrieking, pointing, clutching, was replayed endlessly across TikTok, Reddit, and ESPN. And it wasn't just fans piling on. Philadelphia's own, known for their unapologetic defense of rowdy behavior, rejected her outright. Even late-night television hosts couldn't resist mocking the meltdown. But the Phillies organization moved quickly, handing Lincoln a signed bat and giving him a story far bigger than a foul ball. In contrast, the woman at the center of the scandal walked away with what many are now calling a cursed souvenir, an object of humiliation rather than victory. And that irony, paired with new denials, has transformed this incident into more than a fan fight. It's a cultural moment about entitlement, internet mob power, and how quickly sports teams are forced to step in and choose sides. It all started with a single swing. Harrison Bader connected, sending the ball deep into the stands, and in that moment, what should have been a kid's dream became a viral nightmare. The father, Drew Feltwell, scooped up the ball cleanly and handed it straight to his son Lincoln. But within seconds, chaos erupted. A woman stormed in from the side, waving her arms, screeching, and demanding the ball was hers.
Rather than escalate the situation, Drew Feltwell handed her the ball.
Thank God I didn't swing.
So we brought you a cool little goodie bag.
Lincoln Feltwell made out okay, getting a present from the Marlins.
What shocked fans wasn't just the grab itself, it was the theatrics. Instead of letting the boy keep it, she doubled down, pointing fingers, barking at anyone who disagreed, and clutching the baseball like a trophy. Cameras in the crowd picked up every detail, and within hours the clip was everywhere. The contrast was painful. A child left crushed on his birthday, while an adult strutted away in triumph. Baseball has always cherished the tradition of giving kids foul balls, a symbol of innocence and joy in the sport. But here, that tradition was shattered in front of thousands, and the reaction was instant. Fans in the section booed. Commentators online compared her voice to a horror movie jump scare, her posture to a caricature ripped from an animation. Even Philadelphia's own, a fan base famous for defending outrageous behavior, didn't back her this time. The consensus was brutal. This wasn't rowdy spirit, it was entitlement on full display. But the clip was only the beginning. Because once the internet got hold of it, the Phillies ball snatcher scandal wasn't just about one baseball anymore. It became a test case for how far fan behavior can spiral when every second is caught on camera. Once the clip hit the internet, the fallout was immediate. TikTok, Reddit, and X exploded with frame-by-frame breakdowns of the moment. Fans treated it like a sports conspiracy reel, slowing it down, zooming in, analyzing her hand movements, and debating whether she ever actually touched the ball. The verdict was clear. The father caught it clean, and her claim collapsed instantly. But if the facts buried her defense, the memes buried her reputation. Commenters compared her shrieks to a fire alarm that wouldn't shut off. Others joked she looked like a character drawn by Meat Canyon, too exaggerated to be real. One viral post even called her a dementor feeding on happiness, and the line spread like wildfire across social feeds. What made it worse is that Philadelphia fans, notorious for defending their own no matter how wild, didn't rally behind her.
Sorry to get a ball, but I'm kind of baffling the set,
And a signed bat from Harrison Bader, the very player who smoked the now viral ball into the stands.
Who's your favorite Phillies player?
Used to be Harper, but a little bit more Bader now.
But for Drew Feltwell, the lesson he was able to teach his son that night was the real prize.
You've seen the backlash against the woman.
Remember, this is a crowd that once booed Santa Claus and threw batteries onto the field, but here, there was no sympathy, only embarrassment. Local fans posted that she had humiliated the city, and for a fan base that prides itself on chaos, that rejection said it all. Mainstream media piled on too. ESPN replayed the clip, anchors calling her behavior indefensible. Meme accounts layered circus music and horror soundtracks over her tantrum, making the moment even harder to escape. By the end of the week, she wasn't just a woman at a game, she was a viral archetype, the newest addition to the internet's Hall of Infamy. And just when it looked like the story had peaked, the Phillies organization themselves stepped in, adding a twist that would push the scandal even further. The Phillies didn't wait for the dust to settle, they moved fast. Stadium staff made sure the boy didn't leave empty-handed. Within hours, Lincoln was holding something far better than a disputed baseball. A signed bat, courtesy of the Phillies, and even a meet-and-greet moment with Harrison Bader. It was the franchise's way of making the message clear. Kids come first, and entitlement won't be rewarded. That single decision flipped the narrative. While the woman clutched a ball now branded online as cursed, the child walked away with an experience fans dream of. Comment sections erupted with praise for the team's quick action, calling it a masterclass in PR damage control. And they weren't wrong. In an era where every fan incident is replayed globally within minutes, organizations can't afford silence. Sports insiders noted that teams are now treating viral fan scandals like full-scale crises. By stepping in quickly, the Phillies protected both the boy and their brand image, ensuring headlines focused on generosity rather than chaos in the stands. One commentator put it bluntly, "She may have left with the ball, but he left with the victory." It was a powerful moment of contrast. An adult seen gloating over a souvenir, while a child gained the full support of Major League Baseball. And yet, the real twist wasn't about who got the better prize, because as more footage surfaced, the internet discovered something that would completely destroy her version of the story. What the woman didn't anticipate was that every angle of her outburst had been captured. Within hours, TikTok and Twitter were flooded with slow-motion replays from fans across the section.
I kind of refuse to take any involvement in bashing her. I don't want to be that person in front of my kids. I can't do what I did and then talk bad about her.
The woman in the video has not been identified. There is, however, at least one company offering her $5,000 to return the ball. There is, however, one catch. She has to inscribe the words, "I'm sorry."
Frame by frame, the evidence stacked up. The ball clearly bounced into the seats. The father scooped it up clean and then handed it to his son. At no point did the woman actually control it. Her defense, that the ball was ripped from her hands, didn't survive a second of analysis. Replay after replay showed the same thing. She may have reached, maybe even brushed the ball, but possession was never hers. It was less a shared scramble, more like a football fumble that got away from her before anyone noticed. Philadelphia sports radio hosts weighed in the next morning, citing ushers who confirmed exactly what fans saw. The father caught it first. Local insiders called her claims pure imagination, and that single detail sealed her reputation. She hadn't just tried to take the ball, she'd tried to rewrite what happened, even as dozens of cameras rolled. And that's where things shifted from simple embarrassment to outright humiliation. Because in the age of viral playback, once your story doesn't match the footage, the internet doesn't just laugh. It erases any chance of sympathy. And the debunking was only the beginning, because soon another unexpected twist would break open the scandal even more. Just when the internet thought the case was closed, a new twist cracked the story wide open. A woman named Cheryl Richardson Wagner suddenly found herself misidentified online as the so-called Phillies Karen. Her photos were circulated, her name dragged into headlines, and even local gossip pages ran with it. But instead of hiding, she fired back. On Facebook, Cheryl mocked the frenzy, pointing out the obvious. She wasn't even at the game. In fact, she wasn't in Florida at all. Her post cut through the noise with one line: "I'm a Red Sox fan." It was the kind of denial that turned the scandal into something bigger. Because if she wasn't there, who actually was? The rumors got so intense that Hamilton Public Schools had to issue a public statement after social media claimed she was a teacher there. Their clarification was blunt. She has never been employed by the district. That forced correction revealed just how fast misinformation had spread. Now, instead of one viral villain, the internet had two competing narratives: the unidentified woman in the clip and the wrongly accused fan demanding her name be cleared. For critics, it was a reminder of how easily a viral storm can spin out of control. For Cheryl, it was a bizarre fight to protect her own reputation from a scandal she had nothing to do with. But while the mystery deepened around the woman's real identity, the father and son at the heart of the moment finally spoke out, giving their own emotional perspective on what happened that night. Amid all the noise, the voices that mattered most finally stepped forward. Drew Feltwell, the father in the clip, explained that this wasn't just any night at the ballpark. It was his son Lincoln's 10th birthday. The home run ball was supposed to be the highlight of the celebration.
On the baseball. Nate.
Wow. Christian. Oh, I did not know that at the end. Thank you so much.
Can we just say special mommy hug to that dad? I wish we could all behave that way. I'm not so sure I would have reacted that way if I had been attacked that way when I thought I didn't do anything to you. I have this ball for my child. The way he handled that with such grace, I think.
Agree. Right.
I think he's
it's about
amazing.
the approach.
A memory that would last a lifetime. Instead, it turned into a spectacle that left them stunned. Feltwell admitted he was still in disbelief at how quickly things escalated. From his perspective, he had done everything right, caught the ball cleanly, handed it to his son, and tried to move on. But within seconds, the joy of the moment was overshadowed by an adult demanding attention, shouting down anyone who stood in her way. For Lincoln, the disappointment was obvious. Cameras caught his confused, downcast face as the woman strutted away with the ball. Later, he admitted he thought she would have taken it no matter what. But that's where the Phillies and Marlins changed the story. By stepping in, giving him a signed bat, and even arranging a meet and greet with Harrison Bader, the organizations turned heartbreak into a memory far better than a single souvenir. What stood out most was how quickly fans rallied around the boy. Social media amplified his story, turning Lincoln from the quiet victim of a viral moment into the true hero of the night. Commentators called the signed bat the real home run, a symbol that generosity still wins out over entitlement. And yet, while the boy walked away with a victory, the woman at the center of the meltdown faced something entirely different. A growing wave of comparisons that connected her to another scandal just days earlier. What really cemented this incident wasn't just the viral clip itself, but the timing. Because only days earlier, the world was still buzzing over another fiasco. Polish millionaire CEO Potterick snatching a tennis player's hat from a young fan at the US Open. That clip was already being called one of the worst fan moments of 2025. And then, almost immediately, the Phillies ball snatcher video surfaced. Two scandals, back to back, with one glaring theme: adults taking joy away from kids, the internet didn't hesitate to link them. Side-by-side edits labeled the CEO and the Phillies Karen as the sports villains of 2025. YouTubers spliced the incidents into compilation videos, and Reddit threads exploded with commentary on a new wave of entitlement in sports culture. The question was no longer who had the ball, it was why this kept happening. Commentators pointed out the symbolism. Baseballs and hats aren't just souvenirs, they represent innocence, moments meant for kids who will remember them forever. When adults insert themselves into that spotlight, the backlash is swift, and organizations are beginning to recognize the stakes. PR consultants openly admitted that teams now prepare for these incidents like crisis drills, because in the age of viral cameras, one entitled fan can spark a global headline within hours. What's telling is that even Philadelphia's famously rowdy fan base, often celebrated for chaos, drew the line here. If Philly fans, who once booed Santa Claus, won't defend you, then you've crossed a boundary too far. And that's why the Phillies Karen wasn't just mocked. She was rejected by the very culture that might have otherwise embraced her. But as the narrative shifted from one ball game to a broader debate about entitlement, the personal fallout for the woman in the clip only grew harsher. By now, she wasn't an anonymous spectator, she was a national punchline. By the end of the week, the Phillies ball snatcher wasn't just a viral clip, it was a cultural spectacle. Meme accounts crowned her the internet's main character, a title nobody wants. Sports blogs replayed her outburst in slow motion. ESPN anchors condemned her behavior, and even late-night comedy shows joined in. Jimmy Kimmel cracked a joke about adults stealing from kids, quipping, "What's next?" The Pope tackling a toddler for cotton candy. The audience roared, and her humiliation reached a national stage. But beyond the jokes came something far more permanent. Local outlets revealed her name. Fans shared her face, her section, even her row. And suddenly, she wasn't just a Karen at a Phillies game. She was branded, forever tied to one moment of entitlement. Unlike the Polish CEO, she didn't have a company or board of directors to lose. What she lost was something harder to repair, her anonymity. PR insiders described the baseball she clutched as radioactive. She can never display it proudly, never brag about it, because to the public, it isn't a souvenir. It's a cursed reminder of internet shame. Meanwhile, the boy walked away with a signed bat, a story, and the support of millions. The contrast couldn't be sharper. A child elevated, an adult diminished. And that's where the bigger lesson comes in. In 2025, with every fan carrying a camera, every meltdown is broadcast instantly. The Phillies Karen scandal wasn't just about one woman and one ball. It was about how quickly sports culture now punishes entitlement, especially when kids are involved. For her, the fallout will last far longer than the cheers of that game. For everyone else, it's a warning. One bad decision in the stands can make you infamous overnight, and the internet rarely forgets. So where does that leave us? A viral clip that started as one woman snatching a baseball has spiraled into a national talking point, a debate about fan culture, and now a case study in how quickly reputations can collapse. The father and son at the center of it walked away with support from the Phillies, the Marlins, and millions of fans online. The wrongly accused woman fought to clear her name, and the internet's memory has already locked the real ball snatcher into infamy. But what makes this scandal different is how fast it evolved. Within hours, there were slow-motion replays, alternate camera angles, meme edits, media debates, and official team responses. Within days, there were denials, clarifications, and public statements from schools and insiders. A single foul ball turned into a global story, reshaping how teams handle fan incidents in real time. The Phillies ball snatcher thought she'd won by walking away with the ball. In reality, she walked into a storm she can't escape. The boy gained a priceless memory. She gained a reputation no one would envy. And the rest of us gained a reminder that in 2025, nothing in the stands goes unseen. So the question isn't just what happened at one Phillies game, it's what happens next. Because if one baseball can ignite a scandal this big, the next fan meltdown might already be loading in your feed.